2, 3.
Or it's you lot again, is it? Suppose you wants to be hearing more now? Well, let's get to it. When I last left you, we left the Black Death, 1348 to 1350, I believe. Now, the significance of the Black Death. People like me, we could work this land and actually ask for a bit of money. So old Merek has been doing alright, you know. I've got myself some new clothes. I've remarried as well. One significant change in my life, I've learnt to read and write. I tells you, my kids will be clever. After the Black Death, landlords like him, they said to me, you still work our land. I said, I work your land. You give us a bit of money. When he refused, we went to the next land. Give us some money. And he did. The world has changed since the last 30 years since I saw you. There's a few laws that puts in place to try and restrict us, but we've been doing really well. But England, you see, has been at war with France. And we won't been doing too good as well, I hear. We Kentish farmers, we said we've had enough. We ain't paying any more taxes to you for your misguided war. Well, they didn't like that. They sent them in looking for it, but we weren't going to pay, we weren't. Now, we might have killed him, but we decided, right, the time is good for us to go and speak to the king himself. That's a very bold move that old Merek took. Well, it wasn't just me, mind, it was about 30,000 of us. Well, we was led by these men. John Ball, he was called. He's a great preacher. He's what you might call a lollard. You want to say that? A lollard. And he told me that everybody should be equal. Everybody. Under God's eyes. Now, there's also this other man called Wat Tyler. He was a charismatic man if I've ever met one. And Wat Tyler, he met the king. As Richard II he was. And he didn't stand below the king. He talked straight to the king and said, we want better rights. We want better pay. You need to treat us better. We survived the Black Death. And the king, he said, I'll give it to you. Go home first. But we didn't quite go home, I suppose. Some of us, we went to visit that, what was his name? Archbishop Sudbury. And he ended up dying. We ended up taking his head, actually. And we ended up burning a few government buildings. But that doesn't matter, does it now? What we did was to destroy the tax records. We burnt down the buildings. We were organised through letters. These are brave times when a peasant does that and challenges the government and the nobles. Now, Wat Tyler, when he met the king again, there was a bit of a problem. I'll tell you what happened. They had him killed. Wat Tyler was dead. We said our captain has been murdered. We weren't too happy. But by that time the king had organised his army and he could drive us away from London, back into Kent. It's a real shame. Old John Ball was killed as well. And if you want to ask me something about 1381, the Great Peasant Revolt, I'll tell you something, you'll never see a thing in history like that again. We stood up for our rights, we did. Democracy, you could say. Fun time, sad time as well. I tell you, in a few years' time, you'll be talking about us, marching up to London, demanding things from the king. It was grand. I don't know if I got much more to say to you, so you got any questions? No? I best be off anyway. I'm sure I'll catch you another time. Take care, mate. Bye. See ya.